Welcome to Power Fridays Live, the channel that aims to make a difference in the world through transformation, spiritual growth, and for entrepreneurs. Our vision is to empower individuals to live their lives with purpose and to make a positive impact on the world. We believe that power and purpose are the driving forces behind success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Through our broadcast, we discuss business strategies and techniques that can help entrepreneurs achieve their goals and take their business to the next level. We believe that through sharing knowledge and experience, we can empower each other to succeed and make a difference in the world. Now here's our host, Janelle Pulley.
Well, hello. How you guys doing? Welcome to episode number 175, Power Fridays Live. Janelle is off on maternity leave. So you have me as your guest host, Devon Joseph. I'm actually privileged to have Miss Sharee Wells with me today. She's a career coach, and she's been certified by the Harvard Project on Negotiation, which is very impressive. Sharee, thank you for coming out. I'm happy to have you here with me. Take us on a journey back to through your 30 years in the career coaching and negotiation arena. What inspired you to embark on this incredible path, and how has it shaped your mission at Obstacle Coach?
Well, I started my career as a long-term care ombudsman, which is a person who handles complaints in nursing homes and residential care facilities. So anything long-term care for adults, frail elders. And I loved the work, loved it so much. I enjoy being an advocate for other people and helping people to help themselves. And when people are in long-term care facilities, they often don't feel like they have a voice. So that was my role. I worked in that area, and I also trained volunteers to also work in specific facilities. And I did that for, 11 years or so. And then I went to work for another company that worked in long-term care, but the opportunity was presented to change the whole healthcare system in our state by allowing the people who lived in nursing homes because they couldn't afford to stay in their homes the opportunity to actually afford to stay in their homes. And people prefer that. So I worked with that program. And then our business partner, I owned a career company with my husband. Our business partner's wife was transferred to another state. So opportunity knocked again. And he, of course, wanted to leave and go with his wife. So my husband said, "Haven't you worked for the government long enough? Don't you think you could come to work for us?" So I did. I went to work in my own company. And that's when I became a career coach. I love that work as well because I realized that advocating for people who may not feel like they have a voice or may not know how to use the voice that they have is still something that is needed, and that advocacy role continues as a career coach to help people be able to ask for what they want and get the careers that make them feel satisfied and successful, however they define it.
Very nice. So your advocacy and advocacy is important because a lot of people just don't know how to, like you said, get that voice, right? Get that representation. Right now I'm going through something where my mother-in-law is in a facility where because she's much older. She's, I believe, 75, and they're helping her, I guess, learn to walk again, right?
Oh, a rehab. Yeah.
Rehab, there you go, rehab.
Yeah.
You would not believe the amount of back and forth with the nurses and stuff that we have to go through, um,
Mhm.
just to get simple things done. So when there's no one there with a voice for you,
Yeah.
it could be a problem because people will overlook you. People will treat you like you're not exist, like you don't exist. Um, we have a question here in the audience, Mr. Elroy Jones. What
Mhm.
career are people looking for right now?
Um, Amazingly, people want to work from home. So that's a big area. People are looking for jobs in technology, call centers, wherever it is that they can do their work from their homes because they feel their lives are better. They have a better work-life balance if they are able to tend to the things at home and still get their work done. Those are the kinds of roles, though, that people really need to um, be able to motivate themselves and corral themselves and manage their time and priorities, so that you are actually getting your work accomplished. But um, that's a really growing area.
Yeah, I think COVID and 2020 changed the game for a lot of people. Once
It
they
did,
realized that they can accomplish so much from home, a lot of people didn't want to go back to the office. They
right?
want to stay home and work. But it's two folds, I think. Is one, you have the people who very productive. It doesn't matter where they are, whether they're home or in the office, they're gonna get it done. But then you have some people that working at home may not be the best thing for you, right? Because you're so
Right.
used to your boss telling you what to do. Oftentimes, when you're on your own, you tend to just let time run out on you, and you don't get a lot done.
That, and some people are just more social.
Yes.
They work better
Mhm.
when they're in the presence of other people.
Yes.
Perhaps
Mhm.
that depends on whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, but um, you need to take your personality into account when you're looking for
Making those
work.
decisions, right? Yeah.
Yeah, AI is another growing area, by the way, to your
Yeah.
questioner.
Yeah, AI is huge right now. A
Mm,
lot of we have my company, Exclusive Media, have a software called Epic HQ, which is basically an automation software to help businesses run their business on autopilot online. And we just integrated a conversational AI into the software, and another AI for creating content for the blogs and
mm.
emails and stuff, and it's doing an incredible job. So that's definitely a powerful space. Thank you, Mr. Elroy Jones, for your question. Um, Sharee, you've advocated for helping individuals overcome barriers to inclusion and respect, truly
Mhm.
inspiring. Can you share a specific moment or short story where you witnessed someone's life change because of your coaching? What fueled your passion for this aspect of your work?
The thing that comes to mind at this moment is I had, and this was in the 90s, so this was when things still were not quite spoken about, but this had the biggest impact on me as far as um, that advocacy work. A client came who was undergoing a sex change,
Mm,
and this was not like openly discussed
right back
with
then.
people. It was still under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
And as he moved into his world as a female, he began to have difficulties at work.
Mm-hmm.
All of those transitions were not okay with everybody. And so when he began looking for another employment, as a female,
Mm-hmm.
she then
Mm-hmm.
had troubles like her job history.
Right.
It wasn't her, it was him.
Right.
We went through the process of getting a driver's license change, which is a nightmare, or was at the time. And when he came to me, he was not she yet.
Right.
I said, I haven't done this before. And he said, neither have I. I said, are you okay if we learn together? and we did. And, she and I are still friends now. She got an excellent position, but it wasn't easy. And we had to go through things that took a lot longer and were more difficult. And some of it was very emotional and stressful. So it was an excellent learning experience for me, and I am ever so grateful because I have been able to work with other people who are in transition over the years because she was willing to give me that opportunity to learn with her. And I am just forever grateful.
I mean, the world is changing. Since the 80s and 90s, it's a total different world. We see more and more people are open about it, and I guess it kind of prepared you for what was about to come because a lot of people, it's growing now.
And it's not just about like people in transition.
Right.
It's also about, well, people of color still have issues getting paid.
Right. Higher wages, right? Or
Right.
equal compensation for equal.
A seat at the table.
Right.
Just, that's something. People of different economic statuses, the same. So there are a whole lot of areas where people are still not welcomed,
Right.
that require a lot of work. And I enjoy that challenge, and I'm always happy to help people help themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Back in the early 2000s, we had a medical company, a medical recruiting company, and basically we recruit surgeons and all the high paid doctors for hospitals and stuff. And that's basically why they came to us because they didn't want to negotiate their salaries, right? They wanted somebody to do all the, they just want to show up and do what they're great at, right? But they want to be paid well for it. So they put us in place and we did the negotiation and with the hospitals and stuff. And even hospital came to us. They if they need an expert surgeon in a certain area, they would tell us what they were willing to pay, and we would look for the top guys. And if they were getting paid more, we were like, you're gonna have to meet us here. You're gonna have to meet us here if you want the best, because they're not gonna leave the comfort of where they're at their friends and how their life work just because you pay them a little bit more. It has to be significantly more to have people, you know, change their life and lifestyles.
Yeah, and it's about the whole package. It's not just the money, because to some people the money doesn't make any difference.
Right.
But if you are offering me childcare
Hmm.
and I am taking care of an elder with dementia, I don't
Hmm.
need your childcare. Give me
Right.
something that matters to me.
Right. And
So negotiating those types of details are critical for people.
absolutely. And that's part of business in general. You really need to understand your customer, right? You need to understand
Absolutely.
what their needs are and and cater to those needs to be able to make them raving fans of your brand. So I
Yeah.
like that. That touch home.
It's an excellent point that you make. May I give your audience 5 tips for job offer negotiations?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. First thing is, as we were just hearing, know your market price. Do your research, do your homework. The employer or the employer's agent is going to do their homework, so you can do no less. Look online, um, validate that with your network, and know what your market price is, the range. Um, the second thing is to speak your value in terms and language employers understand. Talk about your measurable accomplishments. As you were just saying, know your market, know what they're interested in,
Hmm.
talk in their language. Then
Hmm.
they can hear you. They can't hear you if you're not speaking their language. Um, know what, when, and how to negotiate. And that's what I do. I teach you those things. I'm also a big fan of principled negotiation. So that fourth thing is going to be use those principled negotiation techniques. And those would be focus on solving problems and not the people behind those problems. Focus on mutual interests, what you're both interested in accomplishing. Focus on options, lots and lots of options. If you won't do A, would you consider doing B? So that they see that you are flexible and resourceful as well. And of course, the final thing is to have objective criteria. So when you're going to make a decision about something, you don't want to be saying, well, I need X amount of money because that's what I feel like I'm worth. They don't care what you feel like. It's a business they're running. So give them a business reason. It's just like when you go to sell your house.
Right.
You just don't get to put any old price on there. You have to
Right.
put a price that has objective criteria. The comparable prices in the area, they call them
Hmm.
comps in the real estate market, and the appraisal.
Right.
So you will have criteria for making that price that are not just your own opinion. The same way for your job. Your own good opinion of yourself doesn't matter. Give some objective criteria. This is what the market is paying right now. I have this degree or that skill that you want. Those sorts of things are the types of criteria that you want to use instead of just your feelings about it. And the fifth and final tip is know what you want to say. Plan ahead. The only way you're going to be sure that you are not going to sound rehearsed is to practice. Practice, 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 practice. So then it is second nature. You become your own subject matter expert. And you can talk about it anytime, any place, anywhere to anyone.
That's a good point. I had a situation. I probably needed an advocate. I had a situation. I was working for the United States Postal Service,
Mhm.
They really truthfully try to hire from within. And I came in out of college with a degree in entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
as a carrier, and then took a they had a supervisor training program, which I decided to be a part of it, which was they put you right into the fire and you learn in the fire. And but I
Yeah.
was fortunate to have a great trainer or mentor, older lady, Miss Williams. She was wonderful. Like, she was very skilled at her job. She'd been there for many years. Um, and so when she retired, um, I kind of they kind of put me in her position, and I ran it as if I ran my station as if it was my own business, right?
Mhm.
Even the employees, they were like, they call me Joseph by my last name. They like, Joe walk around here like he owned the place, man. He knows where everything is, and literally, literally, um, a lot of the times my clerks, they would wait. I had the 11 to 7 shift. They would wait till I came
Right.
in to tell me all the problems that happened and for me to fix it. And I always ask the question, you have three other supervisors here. Why are you waiting for me to come in? Why don't you give these? And they was like, Joe, when you come in and we give you the problem, it gets fixed. Something is done about it. We give it to them. They said they'll get around to it, and nothing ever get done about it. But so I know this is a long story, but so they sent a few people to me, and I started training people, right? And mind you, I'm still technically a trainee, so I was training people. And one time, I was on vacation. I had signed up to be officially the supervisor, get the supervisory title of my the Miss Williams, who retired, right? And so they called me into the interview because all this unions and stuff, so they have to make sure they do things a certain way. They were interviewing other people, and they wanted to give out the position, and I was on vacation, and they didn't want to wait till I come back on vacation to do their work. So they said, can you come in and just do this interview? And I was like, sure. So I come into the interview, and I'm doing the interview, and because I've trained trainees who went on to be supervisors, and I know my station inside out. I know the company inside out because I'm very passionate, and my customers love me. Like, they literally come and they only ask for me, right? So this tends to build a certain ego, per se, about what you do in the person. So I
Mhm.
went into the interview, and they're interviewing me, and I'm answering all their questions. And they the it was funny. It was a young lady and an older gentleman that interviewed me. And at the end of the interview, there's like, we think you're a little too cocky. I was like, what do you mean I'm too cocky? There's like, you just come across as too cocky. I was like, listen, I know where my station was when I took over, and I know where it is today. While I didn't do it alone because I had a great manager, right? I'm her right hand. I'm her go-to person. You know what I'm saying? When stuff hit the fan, guess who she's calling at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? She's not calling nobody else. She's calling me. I'm having the conversations that nobody else hears about, because I get it done. And it's funny because my manager, she funny because after a while, I was doing I come in 11 to 7 or whatever. And if I ask for, I'm one of those people. If I ask for a day off or whatever, she know I would never ask for a day off unless it's emergency, right? If I had my son was visiting his mom in Philadelphia. This was in New York. My son was visiting his mom in Philadelphia, and for whatever reason, his eyes swelled up. They wanted to do surgery. So I asked my boss, we in the car doing street supervision. I asked my boss, I was like, listen, I need to get out of here today. My son needs to have surgery. Boom. And she turns to me, my boss turns to me and she said something uh, that I'll never forget. She said, Joseph, I have no problem ever giving you time off because when you come in, I get 1 week's of work out of you in one day. You understand what I'm saying? She's like, when you come in, you work, things get done. You understand? So I said all that to say, I give these examples to say my ego was because I could back up what I'm saying, but I guess some people was threatened by my ego, but it was interesting, man. It was a very interesting, a very interesting experience.
You know, if you can back up what you say, you stand up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. You might find that you aren't a fit for every environment.
Exactly.
So what? Go to the environment that appreciates your upfrontness.
And that's a good point because I've never gotten a job because I needed money. I've always got a job for whatever crazy idea in my head. Like I wanted to be a mailman only because it's one of those few jobs that very few people in my head at the time growing up had. Like I wanted to drive, I wanted to be a train conductor. I'm like, how many people have a train conductor license? You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Not so many.
Right. I like doing
one in my 30 years.
right.
One.
So I like doing stuff that a lot of people don't have access to do. So when that situation happened, I turned in my papers and I resigned and I moved on. I realized that if my success is gonna be based off of people that don't know me, that doesn't interview, um, and they could have called my boss. My boss would have gave them glowing review.
Sure.
Yeah, but she don't do she's not in HR. She don't do the interviews. You understand what I'm saying? But these particular people made a decision, which I thought was an emotional decision on their part, not based off of my work, but based off of the fact that they felt that I was too cocky, that I wasn't ready for the job. Mind you, they gave the job to somebody I trained. Which was very interesting. But the environment just no longer was right for me.
Yeah.
And my boss had at the time took another position too, so it wasn't gonna be something that I was gonna be comfortable with anyway. So everything happens for a reason. I'm very grateful.
It does.
Because
I was just going to say that you can't actually make a mistake. Everybody is worried about making a mistake in their career decisions.
right.
But the thing is, you are going to learn something no matter what. Something that is going to be important to you, something that is going to be useful to you. Down the line, down the road, the lessons that you learn in the various bends and twists of your career path are all going to be important to you. And you're going to get where you're going anyway. The phrase is all roads lead to Rome. That you are going to wind up where you are supposed to be.
Absolutely.
In this life.
Absolutely.
So, you can't, I know young people don't particularly want to choose a career path while they're in college, or they don't want to. A lot of people tell me they don't want to target an industry because what they do applies to all industries. Well, yeah, it does. But you can't very well point yourself at everything and find yourself reaching a target very quickly. You have to segment things, you have to target, you have to focus on something in order to get it. It's like my goals are everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, your goals are not everything. You have,
Now, as we say in
and
business.
exactly. And if you can, we'll use your term, niche your job search down, you're going to be able to find that thing very much quicker than you would if you're just willy-nilly applying to everything. Focus,
Absolutely.
target,
Gotta be,
niche.
yeah, gotta be laser focused.
Yes.
And this goes back to what you're saying. You really got to understand yourself, so it's second nature. If you don't
Mhm.
understand yourself to begin with, that's why you're all over the place. Because when you really know you and what you want and what's right for your life and your career, then you'll find it easy to niche down, in my opinion.
I tend to agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Look at the time. The time flies when we're having fun, huh? To wrap
Oh,
things, huh? To wrap things up on a light note, Sharee, if you could have a coffee and chat with your younger self, just starting out in the industry, what advice would you share over that cup of coffee?
mm, I think that I would tell myself that it is going to be okay. Don't worry. The other thing is you don't have to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for help. It's great to be independent. I'm very independent. I want to do it. I want to do it myself. I want to master the subject, but you can't do everything all the time. You're only at one person. So go ahead and ask for help from time to time. You will get it and it will come to you in the most amazing and wonderful ways with mentors, people you meet just on a plane by accident. No telling where you will get juice that you need to move forward if you will just ask other people and not isolate yourself thinking that you have to do it all.
And one of the things, and I don't know if you could help me with this. One of the things I think people need to know: there's a lot of resource out there that
Lots.
a lot of people do not take advantage of because they simply don't know. So my parents used to say, "Quiet mouth don't get fed." You got to open your mouth,
That's
and
right.
like Miss Wells says, ask for help. Ask people who do they know and
Mhm.
that can help in this area. You know, so that saying of is not what you know, is who you know can prove to be very valuable, because when you ask people who do they might know somebody that can prove to be a very valuable resource to your career process.
You would be amazed the stories I can tell. A guy got a CEO job because he knew a parking lot attendant.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
But,
networking is a two-way street
mhm.
and it is your most powerful tool in your career search toolkit.
Absolutely. I think the art of networking is something I've noticed a lot of people skip over, because I've seen people um, go into meetings and come out with no connections, no nothing.
Mhm.
Networking is a very important thing. And if you're not skilled at it, you need to figure out how to at least get good at it.
Yeah, and even introverts don't particularly feel like they're suited to networking.
Right.
But the power tool that introverts have is that introverts are good listeners.
Hmm.
So all introverts have to do to be seen as great networkers is to take two or three topics with them to like meetings that are social that usually drain them and just introduce themselves to somebody else who's sitting alone or shy or that sort of thing, and then bring up a topic and
Absolutely.
let others talk about that topic. What do you think about this? Or, hey, did you know that in 1827, this was the first day that whatever happened? You know, it doesn't even have to be an important topic, but people will talk about it and they will do the talking. And
Right.
all the introvert then has to do is listen, nod, meet somebody else that comes up, take a phone number, hook up with them on LinkedIn, and you've done your job for the day.
I like to say, the Bible for networking is a book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and
Mhm.
Influence People. If you guys get a chance, power players, pick up that book. It's a really great book, and utilize those principles in that book to improve your your networking skills.
It's a great one.
Absolutely. Do you have any you would refer to them for careers?
Any books?
Yeah, any books you think they should read?
Well, you can wait, and next year
There you
when
go.
mine come out, you can read them. But here's a really great book on networking. It's called "You Already Have the Know,"
Mhm.
and it's by my friend Carrie Mirabal, who does presentations like naked networking and that sort of thing, which are wonderful, wonderful tools to learn about networking and to get that power for yourself.
That sounds like fun. Naked networking, huh?
Yeah, it's an acronym, but it turns out as naked.
Absolutely.
So, of course, it's a great attention getter.
Absolutely. That's you gotta get people engaged, you know.
Yes.
All right. Miss Wells, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate having you on the show with us. Um, is there any last words you like to share with our power players today?
Well, I think I will just say watch in 2024. My courses are going to come out online. And if you want to know more about negotiating, the first one is negotiating salary and benefits now. The second one is going to be on negotiating your raise or promotion. The third one is going to be on executive compensation and benefits. So we're moving up the line in a career path, and following that will be the Entrepreneurs Series coming in 2025. So
So,
watch for all you want to know about networking.
so how can our power players get in touch with you so they can get these books and get these courses?
Yeah, absolutely. I am at Sharee, that's S as in Sam, HAREE at obstaclecoach.net. That's the quickest way to get a hold of me personally. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. So I'm in Tulsa. So if you see the name Sharee Wells, you can connect with me. I'm glad to meet people and make connections on LinkedIn. And if you want to connect with me on Facebook, it's Sharee Stokes Wells. And again, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Thank you so much for coming by. I want to thank Janelle for inviting you. This has been a little fun interview. It gave me a few flashbacks to my days of being in the corporate America. But with that being said, we greatly appreciate you coming out and stay blessed and highly favored. We got to do this again when Janelle get back.
Oh,
Uh,
let's do.
absolutely.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And hello to Janelle and baby.
Take care.
Bye bye.